Hey folks, how are you tonight? Hey, thanks for tuning in. As you know, the name of the show is Let's Get Cooking. I'm your host, Charles Minnick. So what do you say, guys? Let's get cooking. So, what are we going to cook tonight? Well, we are going to have veal. We're going to make nice veal cutlets. We're going to pan sear those up with a Gorgonzola cream sauce with a side of stuffing. You're probably going, wow, stovetop. Yes, stovetop. It's not just for Thanksgiving. It's not just for Christmas. This actually makes a great addition in your pantry to serve as a side any night of the week. With that Gorgonzola, cream sauce, and the veal and the stuffing, we're going to serve it up with a side of zucchini. Now, before we get started though, we need a libation. Tonight's libation is a nice Chardonnay. We're going to cook with this. We're going to serve this to our guests tonight. Now, one thing I've noticed throughout the holiday season is that a lot of people, the houses I go to, the parties I go to, they're still uncomfortable opening a bottle of wine. So I thought it might be a nice little demonstration to show you guys how to open a bottle of wine. So without further ado, what you need first, you need a wine key, which looks pretty much like this. Has a little fulcrum, has a little corkscrew. Mine is the Luxe model, has a bottle opener for those beers. This I've had for about 25 years. My brother actually got it in Paris when he was honeymooning with his wife oh so long ago. So what do you do first? Well, first you take your blade out. All right, then you run that blade and you turn the bottle around the top and you take the foil off. Now myself, I like to just take the entire foil off and get rid of it. Then what do? Well, you take the corkscrew part. Now let's go to this camera over here and we'll get a little more close-up on what we have to do. All right, you take that corkscrew. You want to put it right in the middle. And you just start twisting. Let me get my blade out of the way here. You can twist the bottle, you can twist the entire key or corkscrew. Now, then you take your little fulcrum thing there, put that down, press your thumb up against it so it stays nice and tight against the bottle, and you just pull up from this side. Voila! You have yourself a corked bottle of wine. Now, interestingly, this is not made out of cork anymore. This is actually made out of plastic. Within the next 10 years, you'll probably never see a bottle of wine corked. It's all going to be screw topped, or if you see those bag-in-the-boxes right now, you see in the supermarkets, that's where it's going. You don't need a cork anymore to keep a bottle of wine fresh. So, without further ado, we'll taste it. You notice I have a little bit of ice in mine. I like my white wine chilled. Oh, that's going to be good to cook with later. So we'll put this aside and we'll start cooking. All right, folks. As I said, we have a veal. And we have zucchini. What we're going to do first is we're going to turn the water on for the zucchini because that's going to take a while to cook. All right, so we'll get that going on high. Now, the veal, we're going to want to pound the veal. And the reason we want to pound the veal is make it tender. Veal is pretty tough. It's a very lean piece of meat. As you know, it comes from baby cows. Not the most appetizing thing to think about because it is baby cows and they are cute, but veal is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to pound it. For that, you need a mallet. This is an OXO brand mallet. You can actually purchase this for around $6. You can get that locally. You can either get it locally at the Goffstown hardware store. So, put that aside for now. Again, my favorite kitchen utensil is the gallon plastic bag. We are going to take that veal, place that in the bag, and we'll place it right down right there. Now, when you pound any meat, veal, chicken, whatever it is, you want to use the business side, which is that. Now, don't want to hack it, you don't want to whack it, you don't want to destroy it. All you're trying to do is break it down a little bit, make it a little bit thinner, make it so you can work with it, make it so it's tender. So, give it some force, pound it down straight, all the way around, turn it around, do that to the other side. Now, turn it back over. Now here's where you're going to make it bigger and thinner. As you pound, push towards the edge. Start in the middle. Work towards the edge. Voila. We now have a very nicely tenderized, pounded piece of veal. Okay, what do we do with that veal? Well, we are going to dredge it in flour. This will allow it to cook nice and evenly and it won't stick to our pan. So, we're going to just put some flour in here. We just want a very light dredging. Let's get our pan on over here. We're going to do a medium heat to a medium-high heat. We're also going to turn on the water for the stuffing. All right, so here's our veal. Lightly coat that. There we go. Now that's one serving. I'm going to make a couple of servings tonight. I've already pre-pounded these because, well, I don't think you want to sit here and watch me pound veal all day. If it was sand, you might want to watch me pound sand all day. But there we go with that. And we got the little piece of veal that could. Look at that. All right. Now, folks, as always, our meats we get locally from Sully's. Sully's Superette here in Goffstown does have the best meats in town, bar none. Okay, we're going to save some of that flour for later. Don't worry, I know it touched some raw food, but we're going to cook with it. We're not going to save it to use later. We're going to use it tonight in the recipe. So what else do we need for our recipe tonight? Well, we've got some sea salt, which we will sprinkle there. We will sprinkle that in our pans over here. Season everything up. Oh, we got a boil going on. Now the zucchini, probably take about 10 minutes. We want to boil off at least half that water, get them nice and tender. Then we're going to add some garlic and some butter to season them up. The stuffing, well, it can't get any easier. Directions are right there on the box. All right, now for the veal. Let's heat up about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I can hear it already. Okay, now for the cream sauce for later, of course, we're going to need cream. I'm using half and half tonight. You can use heavy cream, you can use whipping cream, use whatever you want. You can even use milk. I choose half and half because I can use it all around the house in my coffee, in the food I cook, and, well, it's better than milk, mixing a thicker sauce. And we have Gorgonzola. Gorgonzola is very similar to blue cheese. It's a tad creamier. It still has that very, very sharp taste to it. So, sounds like our oil is getting hot. That popping you're hearing, that is the sea salt that we put in there. So let's see what we got going on so far. Yep. Okay, hear that? I got a nice little, or actually more than a little, that's a nice big little fry action going on. Now, the veal cutlet, very thin. It's not going to take that long to cook at all. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes per side at most. This one's looking good. Just take a little bit of paper towel, put that on the plate over there. Put that aside. Flip that. We get our water boiling over here for the stuffing. Nothing easier than taking that stuffing, dumping it in there, giving it a good stir. Incorporate everything together. And then guess what? Stuffing's done. We just take that, put the cover on it. We'll put that aside till we need it. All right, this piece of veal is done. Time for the last one. See how tender those are getting? Perfect. All right. These are getting just where I want them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off the water. Going to turn the heat down for those a little bit. And we're gonna put a good gob of butter in there. Yep. And that good piece of veal is done. So we have this good gob of butter in there. Smell that butter. I can even smell that veal. A little bit of roasted garlic, just to give it some flavor. Now, some cooking shows will show you cutting the garlic, mincing the garlic, pressing the garlic, doing all that stuff to the garlic. Me, I don't have time for that. I've got a wife and 2 kids and a full-time job. This is just a hobby, so I use already diced, minced, chopped garlic, what have you. I will buy garlic cloves for certain recipes, but for everyday use, this is all I need. All right. Now comes the action. See that, folks? That's what we want to see in the bottom of our pan. That is all the flavor burned in, so to speak, to the bottom of the pan. Now what we're going to do is deglaze. We're going to deglaze with about a cup of wine, and I'm actually going to measure this. And what this does, this takes all that goodness off the bottom of the pan and boils it off. You'll still see some blackness in there when we're done, but take your tongs, your spatula, your whisk, a fork, a spoon, and you just do this. It lifts everything off the bottom, and that is nothing but concentrated flavor. So what we're going to do now is we got a cup of wine on there. Now we're making 2 servings of veal, about half a pound. We're going to let that reduce by half. Oh, these are yummy. So we've used some Chardonnay. In with that to deglaze it, you can use a Pinot Grigio. You can use a Chablis, whatever you want to, for wine you can use. As always, I recommend using what you cook, using what you like to drink. Because, hey, it's one less bottle you have to buy. All right, folks, we are going to let this reduce for just a few more moments. When we come back, we're going to finish our sauce, and, well, we'll pretty much be done with this meal, I think. So, right now, I bid you adieu. Let's hear from our sponsors and our partners, and we'll be right back. All right, be back in just a few minutes. Take care, folks. We'll see you soon. Hi folks, my name is Charles Minnick. I'm the host of Goffstown Public Access's latest hit show, Let's Get Cooking. I'm not here today to tell you about my show, however. I'm here today to tell you about the Goffstown Food Network. If you are hungry, if you're in need of a meal, the Goffstown Food Network is an outreach program that provides meal assistance to those in need. They're located right in downtown Goffstown, across from Sully's Superette. Every Wednesday, between 6 and 8 p.m., and every Saturday between 10 and noon. You can go in there, show proof of residency for this area. That includes Ware, New Boston, and Dunbarton, as well as Goffstown, Pinardville, this entire area. And they will make sure that you are fed. Don't be ashamed. Sometimes we all need a helping hand. And if you have a helping hand to give, please donate to them. Cash donation, a food donation is greatly appreciated. Again, that's the Goffstown Food Network. They're located downtown Goffstown, right across from Sully's at the St. Matthew's Church. Give what you can, take what you want. They are that little penny thing that you see at the convenience stores. Give a penny, take a penny. Whatever you need, no questions asked. I want you to be well fed this winter. So please, if you need help, go there. If you don't, give there. Thank you. Hey folks, welcome back. I didn't go anywhere. Thank you for not going anywhere. So we're almost ready to start the rest of our sauce. So if we get back over here to the stove, let's see what's going on. We got our summer squash right here, or our zucchini rather. Summer squash and zucchini are pretty synonymous. You know, one's yellow and one's this color. So that looks great. Remember, we have boiled that a little bit to get it broken down. It's a very tough vegetable. And then we took the water out. We had some butter, some salt, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of pepper. Okay, then we have our cream sauce. We took the oil that we simmered the veal in, and we added, after we cooked the veal, we deglazed the pan with about a cup of white wine, and we have reduced that by half. Now, we're going to let that come back up to temperature, and as we're doing that, just give it a little stir, get everything off the bottom of that pan. If you remember, this pan was black with the burned on goodness. Now, it's clean. My dishes are half done. Okay, now we are going to take, with that cup of white wine, we are going to add a cup of cream. Half and half, milk, whipping cream, heaven cream, whatever you want to use, you can use it. I choose half and half because I can use it in my coffee and my entrees, such as this. Now, let's get this back up to temperature. Get that off. This is our Gorgonzola. This is about 3/4 to a cup as well. And we are going to just let that thicken for a while. Let that gorgonzola melt, let that thicken. Let's get some of this out of the way. Give it a little more salt. Voila. While we're waiting for that, let's see how our friend the stuffing is doing. Stuffing is looking great. Let me grab a little fork. Let's see how this tastes. God, you know what? It's from a box, and I gotta tell you, you just can't go wrong with stuffing from a box. Thank you, Stovetop. Okay. We'll turn that off. That is done. Look at that. That is going to thicken up nicely. Now, to help that thickening process, we have some flour. Some of that flour that I used earlier. Just going to put that in there. Oh, I'll just grab my fork. And that's it, guys. We are on our way to culinary greatness. That is looking great. Got all those lumps taken care of. That's going to reduce nicely. God, I made a mess tonight, folks. Okay. All right, we'll let that reduce. We'll come right over here and start plating up our meal. All right, here we go. Now, folks, as I am doing this, I do want to remind you that the Goffstown Network will gladly take any donations that you have for food. That is the local outreach program that we have here in Goffstown that does provide for those that are less fortunate than us. They are located just behind, or just across the street rather, from Sully's, which you know has the best meats in town and provides the wine that we drink here every week and the meats that we cook every week. So by all means, go to Sully's, get yourself some veal, get yourself some chicken, get yourself some beef. Whatever you get yourself, remember, they have the best meats in town. Look at that, huh? That is looking good. And also, do not forget about our other great local company, the Goffstown Hardware Store. They actually have small appliances in there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, look at this. This has reduced beautifully. Should have brought a bigger spoon. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to improvise here, folks. I'm going to use my cup right here. There we go. Look at that. Gorgonzola cream sauce. Doesn't get any better than this. Look at that. Now, this, folks, dill. Fresh from the garden, well, a few weeks ago, but the beauty of it is it's fresh from the garden. I know where it came from. And it's going to give it that little extra oomph. That make it your own, so to speak. So folks, here we have veal gorgonzola. served with some stovetop stuffing. Say that 10 times fast. And of course, some blanched then sauteed summer squash or zucchini. Again, I mix it up. So let's have a taste and see what we have. Wow. Oh, that is exceptional. Oh, folks, you must try this at home. Now, when you look at what I just cooked, I've got 2 pieces of veal this size. I've got 1 this size. That is half a pound of veal. So a pound of veal is going to run you $8 to $10. Well, for that half a pound, let's just say $5. Well, for $5, I just made 3 people a veal dish. You add in the zucchini, which I definitely have 3 servings of that, and the stovetop stuffing, which I definitely have 3 servings of that. I would say this meal for 3 people costs less than $10. You cannot go wrong with that, folks. Treat yourself. Go to Selly's, buy some veal. Go anywhere, buy some veal. Get some Gorgonzola cheese, and you've got yourself one great dish. Thanks for watching, folks. Till next time, I'm Charles Minnick. Next week, let's get cooking again. Take care.